Yeah, probably. Alright. Yep. Aw, dang it. Right when Kelly's match starts. Darn it. I know, I'll be over there too. That's live. No.
We may not be experts in the game, but we're giving no advice on the setting like the Three Stooges. We'll break the fun, talking strong wrestlers and games of none. Let's talk car shop, turn up the dial, unfiltered opinions, that's our style. Whack your headphones and give us a listen. The Let's Talk Car podcast.
Hello. Hey, it's a Wild Grave. It's Melissa. How you guys doing? Does it say GM mode? I thought you were going to say Cost Shop GM mode morning wood. Alright, let's get to it. Today we are talking about match cards and booking shows.
Biggest question, can they hear us?
Yes. Can you guys hear that?
You didn't sound too confident with that one.
Thine answer is yes. Right, for Kelly's match too. Listening in.
Gab's just like, listening in.
Me as well. I'm listening in too.
Here.
I'm listening in too. I'm also talking. So today we're talking about our match cards. We're going to do a little run through of it, give a little breakdown and a little behind the scenes look at like how we do our booking. We are going to start with Odds, as he's going to walk us through the Journey to Collision Course and Collision Course Premium Live Event and his process for booking shows.
Premium live event, don't stick your freaking labels on me.
Sorry, pay-per-view.
Well, here is how. What Beetle got this from is from the Notes app off my phone. I use the Notes app to put down everything. Pretty much on my phone right now is pretty much the entire Starcade card, as well as a template for what will be the Road to card. Mostly when there's any template, all you're gonna see is what is at the top. If you ever got a hold of my notes, it would just be at the top what the show's name is, and then intro, and then I go from there. And then once that show comes around, I go from there. Like for this show, like most shows, it is okay. Here David Perfect will come out, obviously announce some things, reference whatever's going on in the show. Then obviously to split things up, there's a match. As you can see, promo match, segment match. There's always a rhythm. I stick certain promos and segments in based off of where they would be needed. Where would that, where would I split up certain things? Like, okay, we just had two promos. that's the perfect place to put the brawl between Samantha and Drulette to prepare for their match. That was going to be on that card. That was going to be on that show. And as you can see, even then, you know, just to make it even further clear that this is a scripted show, as you can see, Tiger Dragon returns, saves Dragonheart. So Dragonheart losing was already on the docket and was already something that was going to happen. Because my mindset was, okay, Dragonheart can take the loss. Andrew Cepeda is new to being a single star in CPW, so he needs a clean win. You know, he needs a dominant win. He needs to show off how big, strong, and powerful he is. And Tiger Dragon obviously is going to return, so let's get that going and let's figure that out. And let's get these two in the ring, as you just saw in this week's episode. That led to what happened on this episode. Mm-hmm. The segment interrupted. Obviously, it's already known by me because I'm writing it. The Constrictors are going to return there. That was a shocker for the audience because I was already had Gibson's Army set up to battle them for the tag titles. Obviously, the Carl Saturn match. Carl Saturn cuts a promo after. And then obviously the showcase of, like, when it comes to matches like this, it's always the champion and the challenger, whoever would have won the match, they stare down with the champion, and Jay Benton obviously sits there like, I'm going to cash in. And depending on who it was, whoever it was would have, it would have given a different result. With James Mack, obviously Jay Benton's cashing in. With Nathan Cunningham, Jay Benton would have been taken out, and Nathan would have won the title. Would have obviously won the title, and Jay Benton would have gotten the title. Would have gotten his official cash in at Starrcade, and would have obviously beaten Nathan there.
Yeah.
Dietrich, it would have been the same thing. He would have obviously won the, Jay Benton would have won the match anyway, because I'm assuming Dietrich would have beaten Zero, and obviously Dietrich and Jay Benton would have been a phenomenal match.
Mm-hmm. Still could be.
Hammett and Kyle. Kyle would have probably had with Kyle if he won it, if he would have won it, and then if he would have beaten Zero, it would have been Jay Benton coming out and saying, I'm cashing in at Starrcade.
Okay.
Because now I really want to showcase, because someone that wouldn't normally, somebody that I want to be champion has become champion. Let's try to figure this out. Obviously, I know Jay Benton's going to win the title anyway. So let's figure out how, and that would be afterwards. I would contact Samurai and figure out, okay, how are we going to, what is your suggestions? How do we get from point A to point B? Obviously, Kyle's not going to hold the belt for that long because Jay Benton's obviously going to have to grab it because he has the briefcase. Mm-hmm. And he's also way overdue.
Extremely.
Wilson Hammett, I don't really give a shit. If Wilson Hammett would have won or lost, it wouldn't matter. He would have still cashed in. I think Wilson Hammett versus Jay Benton would have been an awesome match in any case anyway. Mm-hmm. Or even if Zero would have beaten him, it still would have been Zero and Jay Benton's. So we got to the same point. And then obviously, since this is the go home show, you get the card rundown. Obviously, as I'm recording these matches, I'm recording also the pay-per-view matches. Also, so I can get the pictures for the rundown. That's how far in advance these shows go. And then obviously the outro, which is the thanks for watching, more content to come. sort of thing. And that's where we go. And then afterwards I work on the pay-per-view.
Let's go there next.
Which don't normally take that long, but depending on whether I do segments or not, will depend on how long it is. But this is for like every show. And obviously here we go to Collision Course. When it comes to the challenger, I have normally when I'm writing this, I have every single person that was a possibility on this list. So as I'm watching the match, after the match is done, I eliminate everybody else and just go down to the one person. Like I went down to James Mack, obviously, because James won.
Yeah.
Some of the things that happen on the card, you don't see here. Like you don't see Sammy Michaels, the Sammy Michaels run in written here. Sometimes it's written there, sometimes it's not. Same thing with the segment after after the match. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. It depends on how I feel or whether I want to bother with it. Like if it's already firmly in my head that I know what's going to happen, there's no, and I've already, like, it's so firmly in my head that I know what's going to happen, I don't need to write it down.
Yeah.
Like the old Emerson attack segment, I had to write that down just because A, it's a segment on the show, and B, with everything of the show, I can be absent-minded and completely forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I love Samantha Young.
Oh, did I make an error?
You add an extra M that wasn't needed.
I always do. I always do.
It's always going to be S-A-M-M-A-N.
Every single time I write it, I always do. I always. It is a freaking quirk of mine. I always do. I add an extra M.
I think it's because you're also thinking about Sammy Michaels too, so it's like...
Yeah, probably.
Either Sammy Michaels, or you think about the fact that Samantha also goes by Sammy, so it's like...
I'm always do it.
there.
I've done it ever since Samantha Young has been in CPW. I've done it all the damn time.
I'm sorry, I had to point it out.
I always do it. It's at this point I'm just like, okay, that's just a quirk of mine. I'm always gonna do it. I'm just accepting it at this point.
Alright. So you want to talk about...
Alright, so I believe the next one on this...
Pay-per-view cards are not really that difficult for me.
Yeah. Gosh dang it.
Also, Gav, we know you'll always be thinking about Sammy.
Bless you, Gav. Alright, here we go.
Oh yeah, Oh yeah, and before he gets started, every single thing like the Sammy Michaels come in, all that's been massively pre-planned.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Go to the next one, and this is my setup. It looks a little different than Odds and Samurai's, because they do theirs in Notepad or in a Word app.
Notepad, or in my case, Google Docs. I'll say that straight up.
I do mine in Google Sheets. I give everybody a color-coded thing based on the division that they're in. That's what that color coding is. But this was last week's Octane. This is how I figured out what I
Oh
would...
gosh, it is the same one. Shit.
I had a feeling. Very... I looked at the name and went, oh, I haven't seen that name in a very long time.
I haven't seen that name in a while, but anyway.
Yeah.
Back to this.
Back to what we're talking about. Back to the podcast. So this is how I figure out what division people are in. You'll notice for the interpromotional cross-brand match at the very bottom, match 11, Sarah Knight versus Alex Young. Sarah's in green and Alex is in red. That red color coding with the yellow, that's how I was signifying the MXT wrestlers. The green, the yellows, the greens and the yellows are how I register the Octane wrestlers, essentially. So that lime green, those are the tag, usually the people who are in tag teams. The yellow, those are also tag teams. And then the dark gold, that's the Undisputed division, and the lighter gold is the Cruiserweight division. So the induction for Arthur and Finnegan segment, they're in gold up top. So those are the segments that I had planned. I had a segment with Scarlett planned. However, I didn't have the people I needed to finish the segment. So I skipped it, and I'll probably end up running that segment later at another point in time. Nebula was supposed to cut a promo, and he ran out of time for that, so she's going to cut her promo with High Octane instead, which is fine. Kyle and Mark, they're fighting. I know they were in a death match. I usually pick the matches. I don't really write the match types down. I need to get better at doing that, actually. We had this #1 contenders tag match. This one was fun. This was the the third match on the card, the Nadia Strong Arm, Catalina Goodwin, Tessa O'Grady match. That was the #1 contenders match for the Undisputed Women's Championship. And I put Jen at the end because Jen is going to come out, or is supposed to come out and confront them, confront the winner, because she's the current Undisputed Champion. So it says Jen confronts the winner. So I know that I need to set up that cutscene. We'll go to the next match. It's a triple threat, or it was a tag match between Silver and Gold and Latina Heat. You'll also see at the end, there's Jessica and Mercedes. It says run in and attack Silver and Gold. So I know they're going to run in and attack. And that's actually not even going to be a match. The match is going to get thrown because of it. And it's going to lead to a matchup between Silver and Gold and Lady Incorporated at the pay-per-view. Next matchup, Faye Williams and Morgan Nevermore, with special guest referee Dougal McLeod. Dougal gets taken out by Stan before the match even starts, so there's no special referee. That was, I needed a setup. I didn't want to cut a promo. How the hell do I do that? I know. I'll have him be scheduled to be a referee and be attacked before the match. And those two have been going at it all season, so when we get to the pay-per-view card, you'll see where they're going to set what type of match they're going to have as a result of this run-in. Jesus and Zach. Zach needed a win. Jesus needed TV time, and I needed a way to get him a little bit more heat. So that's why that match happened. Frost and Goodwin against Antina Riku and Phoenix and Freedom's Reign. Another #1 contenders match. For this one for the tag team belts. That match I just let happen. Whoever won. Thankfully I got the winners I wanted, which were Phoenix and Freedom's Reign, because I wanted to do a different version of the never-ending story. This time in a tag team setting. Sue Kobayashi versus Vanessa Virus. If Sue wins, she gets a championship match at High Octane. I wonder who's winning that match.
I wonder.
Yeah, gee, that's a really tough one to figure out who's winning that one. As far as the actual pay-per-view match, I haven't recorded it yet, so I don't know who's going to win, but we'll find out during recordings. That is setting up for a straight one-off recording. Then you got the triple threat match to determine the #1 contender for the Undisputed Championship. That was a fun match. Robinson won it, so happy about that. Then we have match 10, Stephanie and Mika versus Articuno and Moltres, and Stephanie and Mika won, so they'll be going on to that tag match, triple threat, the TLC triple threat tag match at High Octane. And then you've got Sarah versus Alex Young. That was a fun match. It was a pain in the ass though. We knew the assignment going in. I talked with Odds and with Samurai about this match, and we knew the assignment. The assignment was Alex needs a win, and she needs to get a win over someone who she's never beat, and that was Sarah. Well, 5 matches later, I got my match, and multiple messages between me messaging Odds and Samurai saying, FFS, why won't she listen to me? Sarah is not playing along.
Sarah refusing to buy in. She doesn't want to give up.
Yeah, she doesn't want to give up. I don't know what's going on. She's like, this title is mine. It's like, no, let it go. You're not winning this. You need to lose, please. I think that one ended up being 2 matches spliced together, actually. And then last but not least, the main event. I tried setting up, I wanted to set up a run-in. I failed thwarted run-in attempt. So Demolition versus Jesse for the undisputed title. They had a hell of a match. Mavericks runs out at the end. Jesse ducks him, clotheslines him over the top rope. He grabs the briefcase, changes his mind, and runs up the ramp. Perfect way to end the show. A crazy match, and then this dingbat decides, I'm going to run out and try and cash in and bounce. We get to High Octane. I haven't recorded any of these matches, so I don't know who's going to win. I don't know what the outcome.
And before that, you messaged me, and I know this is kind of an insider thing, but you text, I think it was a text, you text me, she's pulling a Sicily.
Yes.
That's become an insider term with us when a Kaw is just whooping another one so badly that it's like Jason Voorhees going after a camper.
Yeah. Sarah pulled the Sicily.
Cicely Scott at one point beat somebody so badly I had to do like 15 matches just to get that other person to win.
Yeah. What?
Everyone involved knows who it is. I'm not going to say it on stream to humiliate the person.
Yep. Luckily for me, it was only 5 matches, but still, it was just like, lady, just drop the belt, or just lose the match. That's all you need to do. Sarah, please lose the match. Me sitting here pleading and begging for Pixels to play along. That was fun.
And then technically Cicely got that worse later on when she battled Akira Suzuki.
Yep. She got it back.
Yeah, she got it back. There was a receipt tenfold. As all Akira would do is just attack Cicely's leg, and Cicely couldn't move for most of every match. So Cicely got her ass kicked nonstop.
And Alex already returned the receipt to send her with somebody else. I was like, come on, baby. Anyway. So we got Dougal and Stan fighting in an ambulance match. That's going to open High Octane. That should be a lot of fun to do. I haven't done one in a while. I figured out how to get them in about a 20-minute. I can do about a 20-minute ambulance match with my current sliders. I was able to do a 20-minute casket match too, so I'm pretty happy about that. So I should be fine going into that match. Tag formation promo for Demo and Zach. Yes, I am setting them up as a team. And I'm putting a promo in there to kind of break things up a little bit between the matches, because the matches are all going to be long. So I need short little breaks that I can drop in. And it also helps build story for later on. Match 2 is the TLC tag match for the Octane Women's Championships, Octane Women's Tag Team Championships. I cannot talk right now. I'm sorry. That'll be an interesting matchup. You got the McLeods taking.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, the McLeods taking on Wing and Jones, and then Latina Heat. Then I've got a backstage brawl segment set up because they're not having their official match yet for Silver and Gold and Lady Incorporated. Match 3, Faye Williams versus Morrigan Nevermore. That one's going to have a stipulation. I don't know what it is yet, but they'll have a stipulation. Yo, what's up, Mac?
Hey, Mac, how you doing?
Hey, Mac.
Segment 3, I haven't filled out yet. I'm working on what I want to do there. I'm still thinking about what I want to do in segment 3. Match 4 is going to be Finnegan versus Arthur for the Cruiserweight World Championship. And they're probably going to fight in a no-holds-barred match or a submission match. With those two, I think submission is probably going to be the way to go because they're both brawlers. Arthur's a submission technician, and Finnegan is literally Fit Finley. A submission match would be perfect for those two. We got a call-out promo after that. It's going to be Zach Doe's calling out Sarah Knight, and then you can see some other boxes, so I have some stuff planned, but I don't want to talk on it just yet because it's setting things for the future up. The planning that's going on. We got Sue Kobayashi versus Vanessa Virus for the Women's United States Championship. That's going to be a one-off. You know, I'm going to record the match and see what happens and go from there. I might record 2 or 3 matches just to see which match is better and pick the better match, but we'll see. If I get a really good first match, I won't do anything. It's usually my rule of thumb. If I get a really good first match, then I don't really care. The return promo for Drake Turner, and then oh look, there's 3 boxes. Oh boy. Not saying who's in those 3 boxes or what's going on with that, but pay attention to segment 5. That should be a lot of fun. Match 6, the never-ending story. This time a little different.
The never-ending story.
I'm thinking what I'm gonna do with this match is have it be a tornado iron table match.
Oh God, why?
Because
I mean, it would be full circle.
It would be full circle. They have Delvin and Mark facing off against American Phoenix and Freedom's Reign in a Iron 30 table match. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. I'm not sure yet. It also depends on how much time I have on the card. I'm trying to do this in under 4 hours. So we'll see how long the matches before it go. Open challenge. Nebula is going to call out someone. I already know who she's calling out. I'm not putting... again, it's a blank square, but there's actually a name there. I just don't want anybody to know who she's calling out because it's going to be a surprise. Tessa O'Grady versus Jen Corso for the Women's Undisputed Championship will be match 7 on the card, and our main event is going to be Alan Robinson versus Jesse James. And there may or may not be a square somewhere in there that actually has information in it for something, but we'll see. If it happens naturally during the recording, then it'll happen. But yeah, that's how I book my cards. I take whatever I did in the week before to try and set up things, and these promos are usually setting up matches that are happening on the following shows. So the following show after this is PC and Fallout. So, and pay attention tomorrow because something really big happens tomorrow. I won't say what it is, but lots of story development happening on tomorrow's show. For a much bigger storyline that is bigger than all 3 rosters. So I would just pay attention to tomorrow's pay-per-view and the following week's pay-per-view as well, because they'll have some pretty unique matchups and things happening. Alright, let's go to Samurai. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I'll put it this way. For my stuff, pretty much like there's probably I think I see it. There are like 2 slides because mine's gonna be probably the longest card there is. But also, I pretty much only sent 1 card in because I didn't realize that a lot of the stuff I have booked in season 3 up until this point had been like some people that I will not name names because, well, cancel culture bullshit.
Okay.
But alright. Basically to first because this was a night in Tokyo, the last show I did on 2K19 before I moved over to 2K22. Nicole Rua, a call that's sadly no longer around because a buddy of mine does not make her anymore. Nicole Rua, I wanted to debut her, so I'm like, okay, who can I put in here? Christina Luther, okay, let's see how she does. Originally there had been a thing after the match where there was gonna be a stare down between 2 characters. A stare down between 2 characters. The problem was, I'm being nice and not interrupting either of you during yours.
I'm sorry, something just happened.
Well, pretty much there was gonna be originally a scheduled like after match thing, but I think something had happened between 2 people where I couldn't actually do it, so I just kind of scrapped it. Insidious Sterling versus Chris Carnage, the Internet Championship match with Fight Without Honor, which basically I just took the ROH logic of, well, basically if there's no rules, let me just call a Fight Without Honor. Basically, and Sterling had stared down Chris Carnage after his match at Ring of the Sky 2. So I'm like, okay, let me build this up. Let me just put Sterling against Carnage. Basically let them fight without any rules. I had a winner in mind already. APH Armageddon stare down. I have plans for that going into this season. Women's Television Championship. Barbara Sheffield versus Gary O'Ule. Yes, I noted it also was a open challenge match. So pretty much like for the audience, Barbara Sheffield was a fucking shocker. And then basically Gary O was meant to win, which I think when I was recording that match, I had to do a few times over because Barbara Sheffield apparently didn't know that she was meant to lose.
Oh, you had one of those.
After that, I had Rivera attack Gary O because to kind of give some context, from Ring of the Sky 2, Gary L had beaten Rivera for the then women's hardcore championship, which then the women's television title was rebranded into. Well, I reversed that. It was rebranded into the television championship. Rivera had already basically turned heel by attacking both of them at one point. Rivera attacked Gary L, went to go inflict more damage. When my cause, G makes the save, and then basically calls out Rivera's sister Kaeva to a tag team match at Death Before Dishonor, which was the next pay-per-view right afterwards. And then I remember I recorded basically, Gary O getting picked up, being taken to the back. Then a debut announcement, which was basically just a video package I basically did where I just did clips of the entrance, played the person's theme song behind it, and Ab's your uncle. And then this fucking match, basically I just did a one take, whatever happened. It was basically a contendership for a network championship I was embroiled with, which was won by a guy I like called Mike Angel. Basically, the dude was. Basically, I just did the one take, and then I didn't realize it until afterwards. But I realized that when I put my world champion in here, as well as the European champion, The world champion got pinned by someone who then went on to basically make merch out of it.
That's amazing.
I put the two champions in there because I'm like, okay, like I could probably work with this. I hadn't paid attention to who was getting eliminated, so it was like the minute it happened, I'm like, oh shit. Okay then.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of had to run with it because the dude's already basically pining for it because he's like, I should be the world champion right now. I'm like, okay, buddy. I guess the next slide is the rest of this shit. Yep.
Most of it.
Okay, so we had basically a buddy of mine, Matt Rush. Basically, I had him record the promo. And told him, I basically gave him the arena. I told him just talk what you like. So basically, he crashes the show, cuts a promo, and he's coming in SCD, doing his thing. Sienna Payne versus G, the Trial by Combat. Trial by Combat, basically it was a cross-branded tournament between me and a buddy of mine, Byron Poland, CEW. The winner of the two tournaments basically got a title shot of their choosing that was not a world championship opportunity. At a time of their choosing, they just had to call it in advance. Sienna Payne won for CEW. G was the SCD rep. G got the win on that one. And then we had Armageddon versus Stanley Owens. Basically, again, same thing. Trial by Combat. Basically, whoever won that got the title shot. Stanley Owens won. Although on CEW, apparently, as it turned out, that Stanley gave up the shot and it was put into a gauntlet at, I believe it was Byron's WrestleMania type event. Which he basically called Gauntlet for Glory. Winner got that shot instead. Which I believe is in the hand. Actually, I say I believe. I know it's in the hands of a guy named ATJ. Alright, Isabella Dalehyde with Elijah Maverick versus Ariana Jones. Basically, it was a build-up for Death Before Dishonor because Isabella was trying to call her shot for the Women's North American Championship, which at that time was held by Adriana. And for the post-match stuff, it says Isabella and Elijah cutting a promo after the match. Basically, it was Isabella like talking her shit in Spanish, and then Elijah would translate.
And
quote unquote.
This is before they got married, I take it, because of her last name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is before Isabella basically challenged for the belt.
Okay.
And by the way, yeah, I say Isabella Dalehyde because at that time, I believe they were still dating at the time, or they were just kind of engaged and just hadn't changed the last name yet.
And Adriana, is that Devitt?
Adriana Devitt, yes. Okay. Yeah, Devitt was at the time North American champion. I believe it just retained it against Christina. I don't remember.
Okay.
Basically, Devitt's seen backstage, addresses it, and basically says, alright, cool, bring it, bitches. Oh, by the way, I should make a note real quick. Sienna versus G and Armageddon versus Stanley was recorded by Byron because the dude was... I pretty much asked him, he's like, sure, go ahead. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. It was those two matches, and then the match that's going to come up, which is Only the Family versus Weapon X. Basically, we got the also Adam Peace promo, which was basically... It was leading to something, but because of how long I take in between things might have had to get shuffled around a bit. I won't say more.
I'll never.
I will say it might change again. I don't know yet until I talk to all parties involved. But yeah. Then we have, like I mentioned, the World Tag Team Championship match, which was Only the Family versus Weapon X. Only the Family was trying to call Weapon X, saying we want this. Hey, we're the only ones that are worthy of facing you guys for the tag belts. Weapon X basically says, all right, cool, we'll do this. One night in Tokyo, Weapon X retains, and then basically I have Cozy Club, which was Chase. Fucking hell, I'm trying to remember the name of trying to remember the names of both the guys involved. Corey's probably gonna kill me for it because these were his guys.
Probably.
I could probably look it up, but I personally just can't be asked to do it right now. But pretty much this was basically
Understandable. I'd run though.
basically the Cozy Club called a shot for the tag belt.
Okay.
Basically, them calling the shot wanted to get their crack at the tag belts, which was then the Death Before Dishonor match. And yeah, then we got ourselves a backstage segment where Jessica gets smacked by Hiroko.
Jeez.
Because at that time I was trying to build it up, and it was perfect because of what happened during the Trial by Combat tournament. Basically, Jessica had beaten Hiroko. Hiroko basically slapped her hand away. So now this was Hiroko getting her revenge after Jessica had gotten eliminated earlier on. And then basically this is the reveal of Harvey Gibson has taken on a new client. We got BB Cash versus Sophia Winters, the women's title champion. Non-title match. I was looking to build up for something, but the person behind BB Cash was not active, so I kind of scrapped those plans.
Okay. Yeah,
And then the main event, the Queen of War Championship match, with Zoe Phoenix tried to get her rematch against Marilyn Evans. Because at Ring of the Sky 2, Marilyn Evans had cashed in her Money in the Bank contract to get herself the title off of Lee Ray. Because they had been Lee Ray versus Zoe. Zoe and Lee Ray then fought it out. See who was going to be the one to challenge Marilyn. Zoe got that shot. And basically, the finish I written here was basically Marilyn pulls referee in the way, causes a ref bump, refs down. Marilyn's tag team partner, Tora Troy Evans, had run into the crowd. It's a spear on freaking Zoe. Alexandria Oliveira had basically ran her way out to make the save, ran out Tora. Marilyn then basically hits her finish on Zoe, picks up the win. Basically, I just wanted to basically make sure that Marilyn retained, but also so I could build up something going through to the next event. Which then spawned off into, I believe it was Alexandria versus Tora, and then I had also built up where Zoe was facing off against Marilyn again. This time there was no interference, but Marilyn basically won clean that time. However, the person behind that call basically retired the character, and then they got picked up by someone else, but because of those issues, I basically just vacated it. So I couldn't really think of what else to do.
Okay.
So basically that happens, and now we are going to be having ourselves a one-night tournament to declare who's going to be next in line to face off against Julia Sabina, because Julia had won a contendership match on an episode of Adrenaline.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, you're getting that for free.
She gets
I'm not saying who's gonna. Not saying who, because well, I'm not saying who's gonna face Julia because I'd rather not give too many spoilers. But
you gotta get people in the door to see what's going on. Why do you think I didn't?
I gotta get people in the door. I can't. If I keep giving you guys shit for free, I'm gonna be out of a job.
Why do you think I have all those blank squares there?
Wait a minute. You aren't already?
Damn.
Fuck you, asshole.
Speaking of Gibson, I know you guys keep having problems with him, but I haven't had any problems with him at all this season. It's really weird. He's been
It's super weird.
Behavior.
It's super weird.
Yeah, it's super weird. Like, Harvey has been on his best behavior all season. I don't know what's going on. I'm kind of freaked
Almost
out.
like he's scheming.
I know, it's almost like he's scheming. I'm kind of freaked out going into tomorrow, to be honest. It's like,
it should be fine.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
But yeah, you pretty much get a thought in my head, because yeah, I try to be as detailed as I can be with my stuff. But
so do you?
sometimes that does backfire, because in a community where basically if you're trying to book stories around multiple people, sometimes things go wrong, especially if you basically slack off as much as I did, where plans had to change on the fly.
Yeah. Well, I've learned over the years that I'm getting better at this. I'm not the best, but I'm getting better. I've learned in a edited show, it's best to communicate with whoever's in the angle to let them know what's going on and what's going to happen with their character. I was very lucky early on, and I had a bunch of characters where I didn't have to do that with. So I would just book the shows, and that was it. And they would end up how they ended up, and the storylines would play out how they played out. But I've learned that I need to be better about communicating with people and saying, hey, you're in this program with so-and-so, and this is what I'd like to do. You know, I need to be more like that when it comes to a lot of the batches. So I learned that from this process.
I'll put it this way: I do talk to people whenever they're in like angles or whatever. Although sometimes like I make the mistake of not telling people shit, so it's like when I make those mistakes, I usually pay for it because I get freaking yelled at. But even then,
I always work under the assumption that people know what I'm doing, but I have to remind myself that that's not always the case, and that I do need to let people know. It's like, hey, look, here's the story you're in. Here's what's going to happen. Or I have an idea for a storyline. What are your thoughts, or something like that. I gotta be able to run it by them and say, look, this is what I eventually want to do. This is my plan for your story. But I don't want to give them too much information, because it's like, I'll tell you what your story is, but I'm not gonna tell you what all the stories are, because I don't want to like ruin the element of surprise. So yeah. But I think we pretty much talked about everything today. Covered a lot. Do you guys have anything else?
I have nothing else.
Nothing else, really.
Alright, well then I guess it's safe to say, folks, that the shop is officially closed. Before we leave, let me copy this. Copy the link. Okay, before I leave, we are going to go over and raid. I'm already working there. Probably a lot of you are probably already there too, but if you're not there, go check them out. We're gonna go raid Blaze.
Exactly. Let's go raid Blaze. The podcast is officially the shop is officially closed.
There's the link.
We'll be back with more. We'll be back with more stock shelves.
Oh, it posted on Twitch now.
On August 30th,
There you go.
which will be the last time we do a podcast. Not forever, but just because Beetle is taking a month off, so
Yep, I'm taking a month off from
So we-
streaming, so we'll be taking a break in September.
yeah, so just like we're taking a month off from GM mode, we are taking a month off of the podcast, so no podcast in September.
Pretty much all content on my channel.
And we will be back with a podcast in October, but until then, but our last podcast until the break will be August 30th, which we'll be talking about multiple things and multiple different stuff and more unique stuff in this hobby. You know, just more stuff. More stuff that we stocked the shelves with.
Yeah, it'll be August 30th, barring any real life stuff.
Exactly.
Alright. Well, folks, it has been a lot of fun. This shop is closed.
Yeah, we have to go clean up. Go visit Blaze, and we have to close the doors. Now get out of here.
Yeah, we're out of here.
Yay, we're in, yes.
Bye!
Yes.
Gosh dang it.
Digital wrestling in. You already know. We're here to talk monkey shows.
Wow. Feel much. There have been a pack or two since then. Bye, everybody!